Welcome to Silver Heist. I've been doing a few coin roll hunts. I'm really just getting started, so after I think 2 boxes and a couple of coin rolls, this is what we've got to show for it. Not intended for circulation, 40% silver and 90% silver, so quite a few there, including a Benjamin. So the trouble with starting something new is that it's easy to get distracted. So my goal was to do not only the $50 hunts, but I want to do the copper penny Wheatie type of hunting with boxes, and I don't have a supply for that yet. But as people are starting to learn that I'm interested in coins, someone just offered me some coins. So I've kind of put a hold on buying Craigslist type coins, but this was sort of a family member who had some coins. So I'm going to look at these a little bit. So my concern with this, so this is my wife's dad, a collection of pennies. They seem to have, you can see it right there, there's like an oily residue. I'm afraid these Ziploc bags after 5 years are deteriorating. So I'm going to take those out of there and put them into this, which I think is a more stable plastic. And so I don't want to go too crazy, so I don't want to put them in some kind of what's it called, acetone, the nail polish remover bath, because I think this is a mild PVC problem. So I'm just going to soak them in hot distilled water, maybe hot distilled water with just a touch of soap, and then rinse them in other distilled water, and then let them dry. And so I'm not cleaning them, I'm kind of just preserving them. So I want to reverse whatever's going on. As you see in this, it just feels greasy on the outside and the inside. And so I'm not seeing green on the coin. So there's like 3 Indian heads. Then the rest are Wheaties. I'm not seeing green, but I am seeing oil or slime. Maybe it's more oil than slime. So I want to get them out of these and get those in there. And after I get them out, then I'll show you what the breakdown is. There's a lot from the 40s and 50s, but there's a handful. And since I'm in the Northeast, and I think the numbers in the mintages for Philadelphia Mint are much bigger than the other mints, in the fact that I'm in the Northeast and my father-in-law is from the Northeast. So very few D's and S's, maybe no S's in any of these, but a couple of D's, but most everything else is plain or Philadelphia Mint. So I asked him, it's not like he treated these with mineral oil or olive oil, so he didn't introduce oil into it. So I think the oil, unless it's just finger oil, but I think the oil is from the PVC, which plastic originally came from oil, a petroleum product. I think it's breaking down and turning oily. So there's mild PVC damage. So I just want to arrest it. So I'll put this on hold. I'm going to clean these up or treat them, and then I'll be back. Okay, so welcome back. So what I've done is I've not cleaned, but I've treated the pennies, because I was paranoid that these Ziploc bags felt greasy on the inside and outside, so I was afraid they were breaking down. And so I just treated the pennies in warm distilled water with a little bit of soap, and then rinse them in distilled water. So I didn't dip them in acetone or anything like that. And so here's the breakdown. So these are all the pennies from the 40s and the 50s, and then less in the 30s, very few in the 20s, actually quite a few in the teens. And then these are the pennies of significance. So the pennies of significance are 3 Indian head pennies, 04, 06, and 08. And then in terms of lower mintages, or just our oldest, 1910 and 1910, and then just things that are below 50 million in mintage, not key date, but at least below 50 million. We have a 1915, we have a 1916D, and we have a 1935D, and this was just a really nice specimen. This is a 1927. That was one of the nicer coins in terms of patina. To get into pennies, because this is just our change jar sorted into pre-1982 and post-1982. So this is even better than 50-50. And so these aren't even wheat pennies. So this is 1982 non-wheat, and this is post-1982. It's better than 50-50. So I'm afraid maybe a bankroll will have a lot of the newer ones. So it's probably, I don't think it's 50-50, but in terms of just change that you get back from stores. So I'd like to get into some penny stacking, some copper stacking, some copper hoarding. This was just a unique opportunity since it was my wife's dad. I'm looking to get a supply from a bank and start doing some coin roll hunting. So I think maybe the takeaway is these things, just after 5 years, they seem to be getting greasy. So we might have nipped it in the bud a little bit. There may be some damage from it. So better that was nice that you could put them in individual dates, but better, I think, to put them in a product that will keep them safe and just organize it by decades instead of organizing it right down to the year. And in the old days, I think people, we used to not coin roll hunt, but we mason jar hunt through my mom's change jar to fill in our little blue books of Wheaties and stuff. And so glass was stable. The ziploc stuff, you can never be confident about what you're getting in terms of plastic, whether it's safe or not safe. So even after 5 years, not safe. These should be safe, but glass, if you want to just have loose Wheaties in the glass, in case you do want to not just stack them, but go through and find some good examples, you wouldn't want them in big Ziploc bags for 5 years and then fill in a book later, because they might be damaged by then. So anyhow, so get the right plastic, or just frankly keep them in glass. Okay, so here's the rundown. So we bought 283 pennies. Wheaties are older, half a family member, before they just sold it to the private party for who knows how much money. So we think we gave them a pretty good value. So most of them were from the 40s and 50s. 245 from the 40s and 50s, 22 from the 30s, 3 from the 20s, and 10 from the 19-teens. There were 3 Indian heads. There were 2 1910s, a 1915, a 1916D, and a 1935D. So I think these are below 50 million, but not below 10 million in mintage. So, a little bit more rare, but not extremely rare. The story was my wife's dad. These were from his mom. A portion of the Wheaties were from his mom's collection. And then the rest of the Wheaties he collected himself in the 80s and 90s by going to the Give a Penny, Take a Penny. And he would actually just take the Wheaties from, these could have been from his mom, but a lot of the 40s and 50s was probably him picking through a convenience store, Give a Penny, Take a Penny, and taking the wheat pennies. I don't know if he replaced them with other pennies, but he would go through the Give a Penny, Take a Penny, and take a Wheatie. So anyhow, maybe it was Give a Penny, Take a Wheatie. That was the strategy. I'm going to see what I can do just with respect to coin roll hunting and leave the purchases on the far, far back burner for now. So remember what they said in the movie Heist, everyone likes money. That's why they call it money.